Hare Krishna.
So today I would like to refer to a couple of bhajans in which mentioned about Braj. One of them is written by Bhakti Vinod Thakur. It is called Shri Nam Kirtan. And another is Shri Vraja Dham Mahimamrit by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is the one who is composed Chaitanya Charitamrit. So all Chaitanya Leelas, Chaitanya Charitamrit is a big literature, pretty big literature, not a small one. But he has glorified Vrajadham in one of his very beautiful bhajans, which is very popular in ISKCON and amongst other Vaishnavas also, and which you all know about. So I'll just go through the lyrics of the bhajan with some points in between. Please, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Vrindavan, Shri Govinda Gopinatha, Madana Mohan. So now, although many of the ISKCON devotees we know this bhajan, but I think many of us we don't know that it is composed by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So maybe no, but we don't pay much attention to that. As I said, when all these great acharyas compose a bhajan, it is their feelings of the heart that are coming out in the form of a bhajan or a lyrics or a poem, poetry. So here he starts with glorifying Radha, Krishna and Vrindavan, and then mentioning the three most ancient deities and the temples, first which were established in Vrindavan, Govinda, Gopinath, Madan Mohan. Also they are the Prayojan, Abhideya and Sambandha deities. The next, so after he mentions that, then he says Radha Kunda, Shama Kunda, Giri Govardhan. So then he comes to the next important point in Braj, that is Govardhan and Shamkund, Radhakund. Kalindi Yamuna Jayo Jaya Mahavan. So he is offering all respects and glorification to Yamuna. Kalindi means Yamuna. Kalindi Yamuna Jaya Jaya Mahavan. Starting with Mahavan because Gokul comes under Mahavan, which is where Krishna, you can say basically, although he appeared in Mathura technically, but he was immediately transferred to Gokul. So it is also sometimes said that he appeared in Gokul in Nanda Maharaj's house. So, and Gokul falls in Mahavan. Then he is saying the importance like Keshi Ghat Vamsi Vata Dwadasha Kanan. He's paying his obeisances and respect and glorification to all the 12 forests. Keshi Ghat, Vamsi Vata and Dwadasha Kanana, the 12 main forests. And what is important about that? What is important about the 12 forests, Dwadasha Kanana? Yaha sarva leela koilo Shri Nandanandana means Shri Nandanandana means Krishna. He performed all his leelas here in these 12 forests. Then he's going Shri Nanda Yashoda Jayo Jaya Gopagan. Then he's glorifying Nanda Maharaj, Krishna's mother and father, Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda. Shri Nanda Yashoda Jaya Jaya Gopagan. So all his Gopa friends, Shri Damadi Jayo Jayo. Then all glories to Shri Dam, brother of Radharani, the dearmost friend of Krishna. Jaya Dhenu Vatsagana. Glories to all the cows and the calves. Jaya Vrishabhanu Jaya Kirtida Sundari, means then he is glorifying Vrishabhanu and Kirtida, who is mother and father of Radharani. And then he goes to Jaya Purnamasi Jaya Abhira Nagari. So Purnamasi is glorifying Purnamasi, who is incarnation of Yogamaya, Abhir Nagari. Abhir Nagari. So it's glorifying Purnamasi. Purnamasi is also a very important character in Braj. She is wife of mother of Sandipani Muni. She is mother of Sandipani Muni. And she was staying in Ujjain with Sandipani Muni. But Purnamasi was acquainted, or she was learned in scriptures. She had studied the scriptures. Although previously, mostly the women folk would not indulge in studying the scriptures, but there were some exceptions also. Like we see Sachi Mata, she was not a student. She was not a student of scriptures, basically, who is mother of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Janwa Mataji, she was aware of that, and Ganga Mata Goswamini. So there were exceptions. Not that it was a strict rule. But in general, when you say in general, means majority of that is applicable to the majority of the concerned people, whatever the population, the women, the men, the animals, whatever a general rule means. So Purnamasi, she came to Gokul before appearance of Krishna because she wanted to witness Krishna Leelas. And Vrinda Devi, who is general manager of Braj, she is a disciple of Purnamasi. So under the guidance of Purnamasi, Vrinda Devi, so both of them are managing all the Braj Leela activities. They are the managers. Like Vrinda Devi is manager, Purnamasi is her spiritual master. And Purnamasi's spiritual master is Narad Muni. So in authorized bona fide parampara, they are planning all Radha Krishna Leelas. Jaya Jaya Gopishwara Vrindavan Manj. Jaya Jaya Krishna Sakha Batu Dvijay Raj. So again he is saying Gopishwar Mahadev. Gopishwar Mahadev is Shiva in the form of a gopi when he wanted to witness or experience Ras Leela. After this Leela of Shiva experiencing the Ras Leela, he was appointed as Rasa Mandal Rakshak, the protector of Rasa Mandal. Because Shiva, he said, Krishna, he said, now you cannot participate anymore in the Ras Leela once you experienced it for some time. So Shiva said, okay, if you don't want, I will not participate, but at least allow me to stand on the border of the Ras Leela and have darshan of Ras Leela. I will not participate, but at least allow me to see. So Krishna said, okay, that is fine, but along with that, you perform the duty of being the protector of Ras Mandal. So in the form of Gopishwar Mahadev is Rasa Mandal Rakshak. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is glorifying him. And then Krishna said, anyone who is not qualified to enter Ras Leela, he told Shiva, you should not allow him to enter the Ras Leela area. You are protector of Rasa Mandal. So that's why one offers obeisances and glorifications to Gopishwar Mahadev, because he is the one who is finally going to allow you enter into the Ras Leela if you are qualified. So just to attract his mercy and offer respect for his position. So Shiva is basically in many different posts and positions in Krishna Leela and in the material world also, and he is performing many important duties other than in Braj also. Vrindavan Maj, all the women folk, gopis, sakhis, manjaris, all glorifications to them. Jai Jai Krishna Sakha, friends of Krishna. Batu Dvijraj, all the Brahmins of Braj, including the dearmost friend of Krishna, Madhumangal. Jaya Ram Ghat, Jaya Rohini Nandan. So then he comes to Balaram, Rohini Nandan. All glories to the son of Rohini. And Ram Ghat. In short, it is said Ram Ghat, but it is actually Balaram Ghat. So it is a very wonderful place where Balram, during his Ras Leela, because Yamuna didn't obey to come near, he pulled her with the plow. That is Balram Ghat, but in short, it is known as Ram Ghat. So normally, it is known as Ram Ghat to everyone. Jaya Jaya Vrindavana Vasi Yatajan. All glorifications to Vrindavan Vasi Yatajan, all who are residing there, born there, residing there, visiting there. Whoever was Vrindavan Vasi, all glorifications to him. Vrindavan Vas means staying in Vrindavan. It can be a short time, long time, lifetime, whatever. So Vrindavan Vas is of two types. One is physically, bodily present in Vrindavan. Another is mentally, mental Vrindavan Vas. Although you are somewhere because of some other duties, if your heart is always in Vrindavan, then it is Vrindavan Vas. Similarly, as I say, it was Janmashtami just now, few days back, there was Janmashtami. And we celebrate because that is appearance of Krishna. So once in a year, we are celebrating that. But if Krishna appears in our heart, then every moment for us is Janmashtami. There is no special Janmashtami once in a year at a particular midnight. So you are always situated in Janmashtami once Krishna has appeared in our heart. That is what is actually Janmashtami. Actually, Janmashtami means Krishna appears in your heart. Then it is every moment is Janmashtami. I hope you understand this. So there is once in a year, like I say, there are different kind of devotees. Like some devotees are who will come only on Sundays in the temple. Some will come much more time just to meet other devotees. Some will come on just some festivals, and some are Janmashtami devotees. Some visitors, they will come only once in a year in Janmashtami. Other 364 days you don't see them. That's why Janmashtami, you see, you have a weekly program. So weekly program, there will be like 100 people, and Janmashtami will be 1,000, 1,200 people. So all these remaining 900, 1,000, 1,100 people, they are Janmashtami devotees. You don't see them on the rest of the days. So like there are Sunday devotees, there are Janmashtami devotees, there are festival devotees, there are Prasadam devotees, there are Kirtan devotees. Someone is inquisitive, Jigyasu, he is only books devotee, he purchase a lot of books and read, and he has nothing to do anymore with. But after reading books, sometime he may become. But currently, he is situated in that level. He's just interested in reading your books, nothing more than that. So like that, Jaya Rama Ghat, Jaya Rohini Nandan, Jaya Jaya Vrindavan Vasi Yatajan, Jaya Dvija Patni, Jaya Naga Kanyagan. Now here again, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is glorifying Dvija Patni, the Brahmin Patnis whom Krishna showered his mercy on when they offered all the foodstuffs supposed to be offered in Yagya to Krishna, Balram, and his friends. We all know that. The Brahman Patnis. There is a chapter about that in Krishna book because there's a chapter related to that in Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto. Krishna book is basically just the story form of 10th canto of Bhagavatam. Because Prabhupada, he realized that he may not be able to complete the 10th canto of Bhagavatam. So he wanted to present the 10th canto of Bhagavatam to the society. So he wrote a Krishna book before. As soon as he realized, he stopped Bhagavatam translations, he wrote Krishna book and then continued with the Bhagavatam translations. And we all know that finally during the translations of the 10th canto in between, he left his body. The rest of the work was done by Hridhayananda Das Goswami. The remaining of the 10th canto and 11th and 12th canto. So Jaya Dvija Patni, Jaya Naga Kanya Gana. This is all wives of Kalia. Now, wives of Kalia were devotees, but Kalia was not. So, in these two cases, in these two Leelas, where Kalia Leela and the Brahman wives, Brahman Patni Leela, you can see that if in a couple, the wife is a good devotee, she can help the husband to be liberated or to become a devotee. In both the cases, this is an example of that. Normally, in Vedic lifestyle or Vedic culture, it is that husband, he should be a good devotee, perfect devotee, and the wife should assist him in all the devotional activities. But sometimes, as I said, there are exceptional cases. So these exceptional cases and exceptional happened in Krishna Leela also a couple of times. One is the Brahman Patnis and another is Kalia wives of Kalia, Naga Patnis, Naga Kanyagan. Bhakti te yahara pailo Govinda Charana. Because of their devotion, all full of their family attained Govinda Charan, attained the lotus feet of Govinda. So a lot of more depends on the woman of the house. The scriptures, it is said that a man, he can be degraded. There is more chance of a man of getting degraded. But a woman should maintain her chastity and purity. Because if she can do that, she can, Bhakti te yahara pailo Govinda Charan. That is capable, that purity and chastity of the woman, it has so much power, it is capable to liberate or elevate or the full family. It is one of the most important ingredients to understand. Because all the family life revolves around her. She is cooking prasadam, she is maintaining the cleanliness, she is doing everything, she is on that radiates. Although this doesn't mean that man should, there is some permission for the man to degrade. No, man has to be a perfect Brahmin or perfect devotee. But this type of things also work. And this is example in Krishna Leela. Jaya Dvija Patni, Jaya Naga Kanya Gana, Bhakti te yahara pailo Govinda Charan. Because of their purity, chastity, all their family, even Kalia, husband of all these Naga Patnis, received mercy of Krishna and he became a pure devotee after that. There are so many examples in ISKCON where wife has become devotee and the husband was opposing, and in some cases he was terribly opposing, like throwing her Bhagavad Gita, throwing the Japmala in toilet and flushing it. And not only that, kicking the wife when she's chanting, and so many, I can tell you so many examples. But just because of the tolerance of the wife and some pleasant adjustments, after a few years, the husbands became devotees. And then they realize their mistake. And then they go to their spiritual master to tell them that, see, I now realize I didn't behave properly with my wife. Vaishnava. So that is the power. A woman is basically more powerful in a family than a man. On a subtle level, the man may appear powerful on all vyavaharik levels and external level. Shri Rasamandala Jaya Jaya Radha Sham. So then he's saying the Rasamandal is glorifying the place of Ras Lila. This is Rasamandal and Jaya Jaya Radhe Sham. Jaya Jaya Rasa Lila Sarva Manoram. Rasamandal, the place of Rasamandal, all glories to the place of Rasamandal, all glories to Shri Radha Sham Sundar. All glories to the Ras Lila dance, which is Sarva Manoram, which is most attractive, all attractive, which can attract minds of everyone. Jaya Jayojwala Rasa Sarva Rasa Sar, Parakiya Bhave Yaha Brajete Prochar. So, here he is saying that Jaya Jayojwala Rasa, Sarva Rasa Sar. The topmost rasa of all the rasas, Parakiya Bhave Yaha Brajete Prachar. Basically, which is the essence of Raj, is a Parakiya Bhav. Feeling separation of Krishna and then surrendering to him, leaving everything. Without bothering or caring for anything else about conveniences, comforts, and finally about your reputation also. To the hell with my reputation. We just run towards Krishna and surrender to him. That is a Parakiya Bhav. Parakiya Bhav means you externally it may appear that you are entangled or you belong to something else, like the gopis, they had husbands, they had families, they had everything. But they would just leave everything when Krishna called and even forget about their reputation. They said, we don't care about our reputation. So all glories to that rasa, which is the topmost of all the rasa. Jaya Jaya Ujwala Rasa, Sarva Rasa Sar. Parakiya Bhave Yaha Brajete Prachar. That is the essence of Braj. Shri Janavi Pada Padma Kariya Smarana. So, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is finally offering his obeisances to Janavi Pada Padma Kariya Smarana. By remembering the lotus feet of Janavi Mata, Janva Mata, who is expansion of Yog Maya. Dina Krishna Dasa Kahe Nama Sankirtan. Fallen, Dina Krishna Das, this fallen soul, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, is trying to make some Nama Sankirtan in which he is mentioning some Braja Mahima, Braja Dhama Mahima Mrit. So, such great scholarly people who were already into all these Leelas, Nitya Siddha, who composed Chaitanya Charitamrit, who knows everything about Krishna in Vrindavan. He is saying this fallen Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is trying to glorify, something about Braj. So what are we? Means what am I to speak about Braj? If Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is feeling that way. But just because for my purification, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is not saying this because he needs purification. He is already purified. In a purified state, he is telling about Braj. I am speaking about Braj as a matter of duty because by doing this, there will be some purification and anartha nivrutti. There is vast difference between Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and me and all of us. So by glorifying Krishna, by Braj, by Leelas, this, that, by Guna, Rupa, Leela, Nama Sankirtan, by chanting Krishna's names, Japa, Kirtan, Bhajan, it is, we need this for our purification and anartha nivrutti. And it's great souls like Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and all these things, they have appeared, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and they have presented the mood through their bhajans for us to understand, realize our level, and to try sincerely and put all efforts for our progress in devotional life. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, although he doesn't mention much like Braj Dham or something like that, but he is just an overall glorification of Krishna related to Braj activities, some of the Braj activities. He has also written one very small bhajan, and that is Yashomati Nandana Braja Baro Nagar Gokula Ranjana Kana. Very wonderful, beautiful bhajan. Yashomati Nandana Braja Baro Nagar Gokula Ranjana Kana. So Yashomati Nandana, who is the son of Yashoda, Braja Baro Nagar, he is the greatest in Brajabara Nagar, greatest personality in Braj. Gokul Ranjana Kana. Kana is Krishna. And Gokul Ranjan, who is the pleasure, who is giving pleasure to all residents of Gokula, Gokul Ranjan, who is giving pleasure to all Gokul residents. Gopi Parana Dhana Madana Manohar Kaliya Damana Vidhana. Gopi Parana Dhana is life and soul of all the gopis, Madana Manohara. He even attracts Madan because of his beauty. He captivates the mind of Madan. Madan is Kamdev. But this Kamdev mind is also captivated by Yashomati Nandana, who can captivate the mind of Madan Manohar. Kaliya Damana Vidhana. So, who also subdued Kaliya. Amala Harinam Amiya Vilasa. So Amala Harinam, whose name is completely pure, not a spot of Amala, without any mala, without any pollutions, corruptions, dirtiness, or it is completely Amal. Amala Harinam, his name, his name is also so clean and pure, and Amiya Vilasa, and he has very beautiful, wonderful leelas. Vipina Purandara Navina Nagara Vamsivadana Suasa. So he is always young. He is always young. Vamsivadana Suasa. He is playing a flute, Vamsivadana. He is always playing a flute. Suasa means he is very nicely dressed. Vipina Purandara. He is the, what you say, He is the Swami of all the 12 forests. Bipin Purandara Navinar Nagara Vamsi Vadana Suvasa. Brajajana Palana Asurkula Nashana. Brajajana Palana. He is the caretaker of all the Brajajana, Brajavasis. He is a perfect, proper, loving caretaker of all Brajavasis. Asurkula Nashana. He is the destroyer of all the dynasties and families of Asura, demons. Nanda Godhana Rakhwala. Godhana. There are different types of wealth. Land is wealth. Godhana, cow is wealth. There is also Stridhana. A woman and her belonging is wealth. So Nanda Godhana Rakhwala. He is the caretaker of, protector of Nanda Maharaj's Godhana. Nanda Maharaj's cows. Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara. So Govinda Madhava is the names of Krishna. Navanita Taskara. Navanita means butter. Taskara means thief. He is butter thief. Sundarananda Gopala. So he is very beautiful son of Nanda Maharaj. And who is Gopal? Who is taking care of cows? Gopal. Go means cows. Pal means palan. Gopalan. So anyone who is doing Gopalan is Gopal, and Krishna is the leader of all the Gopals. That's why it's called Gopal. He has this post, Gopal. Yamuna Tatachara Gopi Vasanahara. On the banks of Yamuna, he stole the clothes of gopis. Yamuna Tatachara Gopi Vasanahara. Rasa Rasika Kripa Maya. So he who enacts the pastimes of Rasa Leela. Rasa Rasika. Kripa Maya. He is extremely merciful. Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natabara. Vallabha means again Swami or husband or the owner. So Shri Radha Vallabha, who is the Swami of Radharani. Vrindavana Natavara. Natavara means the best dancer. So he is the best dancer of Vrindavan. Bhakti Vinoda Ashraya. And he is shelter of Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Bhakti Vinod Ashraya means he is saying, for me, he is my shelter. Bhakti Vinod Ashraya. He is also shelter of Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So he is glorifying Krishna with references to Krishna's pastimes, that such a person, Yashomati Nandana, Brajabaro Nagara, Gokula Ranjana Kana. With every word, actually, it is Bhakti Vinod Ashraya. Yashomati Nandana, Bhakti Vinod Ashraya. Brajabara Nagara, Bhakti Vinod Ashraya. Gokula Ranjana Kana, Bhakti Vinod Ashraya. Although Bhakti Vinod Ashraya, Bhakti Vinod Thakur writes Bhakti Vinod Ashraya in the last line, it doesn't mean only there. It is everywhere. Gopi Parana Dhana, Bhakti Vinod Ashraya. Madana Manohara, Bhakti Vinod Ashraya. Kaliya Damana Vidhana, Bhakti Vinod Ashraya. One who did this, that is Bhakti Vinod Ashraya. One who subdued Kaliya, that is Bhakti Vinod Ashraya. One who is life and soul, Gopi Paranadhan of gopis, he is Bhakti Vinod Ashraya. One who is Gokul Ranjana Kana, he is Bhakti Vinod Ashraya. This is important to understand. Not that Bhakti Vinod Ashraya we forget, it is in the last line. Yes, that is not part of the bhajan. That is no Krishna's name in that. But it is just like Bhakti Vinod Thakur is telling in the last, like just that people should know that I composed the bhajan, so I should put Bhakti Vinod in the last line. So I should put Krishna Das Dina Krishna Dasa Kahe Nang Samkirtan. Just that people should know who wrote the bhajan. That's why I should write my name in the last line. It's not like that. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, this is his feeling of the heart. Amalahari Nam Amiya Vilasa. This is Bhaktivinoda Ashray. Bhaktivinoda is taking ashray of this. Vipina Purandara Bhaktivinoda Ashray. Navina Nagra. If you understand these bhajans in this way, then you will understand what is surrendering and taking shelter of Krishna. Not just we have to take shelter of Krishna, attain his lotus feet, this, that. It's at every moment. As I said, if Krishna appears in your heart, Janmashtami is every moment. Brajajana Palana. You add Bhaktivinoda Ashray to every this, then you will understand. Brajajana Palana Bhaktivinoda Ashray. Asur Kula Nashana Bhaktivinoda Ashray. Nanda Godhana Rakhavala Bhaktivinoda Ashray. Govinda Madhava Bhaktivinoda Ashray. Navanita Taskara Bhaktivinoda Ashray. Then you get the concept of this bhajan clearly. Sundara Nanda Gopala Bhaktivinoda Ashray. Not just the last line. Yamuna Tatachara Gopi Vasanahara Bhaktivinoda Ashray. Rasa Rasika Kripa Maya. This is Bhaktivinoda Ashray. Shri Radha Vallabha, this is Bhaktivinoda Ashray. Vrindavana Natavara, this is Bhaktivinoda Ashray. And finally he says, Bhaktivinoda Ashraya. So this is their mood. This is what I want to convey this Bhaktivinoda Thakur's mood to you. That at every moment, whenever he is remembering Krishna in any form, he has this gratitude that this is my shelter. Krishna in any form. Even when we are taking prasad, we are actually basically taking shelter of prasad. But we eat prasad like we are giving shelter to prasad in our stomach. We think we are giving shelter to prasad in our stomach. That is the mode how we take prasad. So actually, it is taking shelter of prasad. Everything related to Krishna, we are taking shelter. We are taking shelter of Harinam. You might have heard this. We are taking shelter of senior Vaishnavas. We are taking shelter of the parampara. So similarly, we are taking shelter of prasad also. We are taking shelter. Everything related to Krishna, we are taking shelter of that basically. We are ashraya. Bhaktivinoda Ashraya. This is Bhaktivinoda Thakur wants to point that we are ashrita. We are sheltered. We are in a shelter home. All the time we are in a shelter home, sheltered by Krishna. We are not some prince and kings and this and that. You know, a shelter home, a shelter home. The people who have nothing, they are zero property. They are in a shelter home. They don't even have place to spend the night. There are so many shelter homes, in all the governments, they have shelter homes. And the condition of the shelter homes basically in India is terrible. It's horrible even. It's better to stay on the street rather than in the shelter home. So anyhow, that is a different thing. But what I want to tell you that we are ashrita. We are sheltered. If we understand that mood, all your ego and all your everything will be crushed. All your anger. You see, a sheltered person who is ashrita, who is dependent on, dependent for everything on someone, maybe government facility, maybe whatever. He cannot be angry because that's what he is going to get. Otherwise, he will be thrown out. He cannot complain. He cannot demand, oh, why this sabji? I want paneer sabji. They'll kick him out. I spent some time in prison, for some reason, like 55 days. And the first day, I went in the line with my plate for lunch. They gave me some chapatis and some rice, and dal was just like water. Means you have to dive into the dal to find the dal. Just salty water with some 1 or 2 jeera floating in it. And practically you have to dive into the dal to find the dal. Where is dal? And then he gave me 8 chapatis. He was giving 8 chapatis to everyone, rice. I don't eat 8 chapatis. I eat hardly 2, or even 1. And sabji, he practically, you will see here, he took sabji from the container, and he just rubbed the sabji on my plate. Practically rubbed the sabji like you put an ointment on skin. He didn't serve me sabji. He rubbed the sabji on my plate. I said, "What is this? Give me more." He said, "Hey, kya shadi mein aaya kya? Hut, hut. It's what? You have come to attend a marriage? Get out." And then I realized, yes, I am sheltered. I cannot complain. I cannot be angry. I'll be beaten otherwise. Whatever comes my way, I just have to accept. That is how you live in the material world. You are in jail. That is what Bhaktivinoda Thakur is trying to tell you in this bhajan. Although it appears that it is bhajan about Krishna and Vrindavan pastime, so nice, Gokula Ranjana Kana, Gopi Paranadhana, Madana Manohara, Kaliya Damana Vidhana, Kaliya Lila. Vamsi Vadana Suwasa, Brajajalanalana, Gopi Vasana Hara, stealing the clothes of gopis. Finally, what? Finally, we are sheltered. And if you understand you are in a shelter home, you will stop complaining, you will stop demanding. This 55 days in prison, in an Indian jail, in a terrible jail, just purified me 85%. And that was in 2003, 4. I have to see my documents, I don't know. But 2003, 4 or something like that. And after coming out, till now I am of this opinion that every ISKCON devotee should be sent to a jail for minimum 1 month for any reason. This is such a wonderful purificatory process. Even now, when I pass in front of this jail, I offer dandavats to this jail. This jail be taught me so many things which purified my devotional life. Then I understood what is living in a jail, and this material world is a jail, and how you should live in the material world. So anyhow, we are in a shelter home, we are sheltered, we are prisoners in a prison, and you don't know what the situation inside the prison is. I can give you a talk, 1 hour talk about my prison experiences and the lessons I learned there, which will be really helpful in devotional life. It's terrible. There are terrible criminals. Everything is there. Murder and fake currency notes and rapes and dacoits. My God, so many different. You cannot imagine for what people come to prison and how. And some of them are really crime. I realize that crime is a bustling business. It's one kind of business which many people are engaged in. They don't care if they come to prison for some time. It's their source of earning a good and big livelihood for some of them. So anyhow, that's another thing. The main thing which I want to tell you about this is Bhaktivinoda Ashraya. Is we are all in a shelter home. If we don't understand this, we will be forced to surrender by Maya. What is Maya doing? Maya is the jailer. Maya and Durga. If we disobey, you will be beaten. That is the principle of the jail or a prison. That if you disobey, or if you think you are a prince there, you cannot think and behave like a prince in a prison. You may be prince in your palace, but in prison, who cares? Similarly, we are in a prison. The material world is a prison. So anyone who will disobey the rules, anyone who will think that he is a prince and he has demands. So I need this, I should be this, my thing should be like this, why this is like this, I need this, I need that, I need a car to go to preaching program, please send me a car. You are not in prison if you are demanding. Means you are thinking you are not in prison if you are demanding such things and if you are behaving like that. I need a good hotel to stay when I come for your preaching program for 1 week. I need this, I need that. And then a dakshina of maybe ₹500,000. You may get it, but it will be marked. It will be marked by the jailer how you are behaving here. And if anyone is in prison or anyone behaves nicely in prison, his term of spending, the time spending in prison, he has 10 years in prison, that is reduced because of good behavior and good this. He is released after 5 years. Okay, because his behavior, although he had committed a crime, that's fine. He committed a crime, he was punished, but because of good behavior, that is everywhere in the world. If someone has good behavior in the prison, he is released earlier. Same applies here. We are in prison. If you behave nicely, means according to the scriptures, you follow everything, you may be released earlier from this prison. There is a chance. Of always it works. So that is what means karmani nirdahati kintu cha bhakti bhajam. Yasvindra gopamathavendra mahotsva karma bandhanurupa phala bhajanamatanoti karmani nirdahati kintu cha bhakti bhajam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So all your time which you have to spend in prison, karmani nirdahati kintu cha bhakti bhajam, can be reduced, can be burnt to ashes by bhakti and bhajan of Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. That means because of your nice behavior, proper following of the instructions in the prison, and not creating any trouble for others, not being angry, not demanding, no complaints, helping others to understand their mistake and helping others to rectify along with rectifying yourself. That is what is preaching. So you can be released earlier, which means you will be free of the material world earlier than actually you have to be. Simple. So I hope you understood these two bhajans. Basically, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is glorifying Brajadham, Braj Mahimamrita. Bhaktivinoda Thakur also through Vrindavan related incidences of Krishna. In this bhajan, he is pointing towards us that how Krishna, we should be always in shelter of Krishna, and we should understand that we are sheltered. We are sheltered people. And not that you go to Golok, you'll be free. We are permanently sheltered. You are not going to be a prince ever. Just understand how to remain in shelter. If you understand nicely how to remain sheltered, Krishna will provide you everything. If you see, sheltered means he has to work like a slave sometimes. In prison, you have to work like a slave, anything. But if that attracts the mercy of the jailer, then he will make you in charge of something. You will get some facilities. Inside the jail also it is like this. You get samosas for breakfast and the others get khichdi. So I was getting a glass of milk every day night just because of this. Because of this and my jap mala. Harinam saved me in prison. Otherwise, I would have been crushed. I realized how Harinam protected me in prison amidst this great dreaded criminals. So I was getting a glass of milk every day night, cow milk. There was Goshala in the jail. Just because of this and because of my Japmala. See how important this is. If you can be treated as a special person in prison, in Indian prison, where there are all corrupt officials, they have respect for you and they can give you a glass of fresh milk every day from the evening Goshala, just because you have a Kantimala and Japmala in your hand. What will happen when Yamraj sees this? Naturally, there will be some favor. Naturally, because we have chanted all these things, but we have to still be perfect. He just gave me a glass of milk every day evening to drink before sleeping. That was a unique case, but he couldn't let me out. But he said, okay, if you have any problem, you tell me. He was the in charge jail superintendent of the jail. Any problem, any inconveniences, just let me know. And every day 1 hour I have to go to his cabin. Fantastic cabin. He's superintendent of the jail, and teach him Bhagavad Gita. So he told me on the first day he saw me, he said, hey, you are from ISKCON? I said, yes. Very good. In the evening, come and meet me in my cabin. So I went, he said, Maharaj, it is unfortunate for you to come here, but it is big fortune for me that you have come here. And he had a Hindi Bhagavad Gita, he had an English Bhagavad Gita. And he put a Bhagavad Gita in front of me, the English one. And he said, open any page. And I opened just a page casually. And he said, do you see there are some underlines somewhere? I said, yes. And there are some question marks somewhere with the pencils, I said, yes. He said, I have studied the Bhagavad Gita very nicely. I have underlined some important things and I have made question marks at some places. So wherever there is a question mark, you read these 2, 3, 4 lines. Then I have a question about that and you should answer me. Till the time you are here, this is your daily routine. Every day evening, you should come here. And simultaneously, he used to work. He has a lot of work. So he used to do all his work, like his work. And then I used to go and 1 hour, I would read where there is question mark. He would ask his question and I would answer and he would listen to that. He said, see, we have no time. Now you have come here, I will use your time and my time. So along with simultaneously working, he used to listen to what my clarifications for his question marks. And then at the end of the session, he would get a glass of milk from the Goshala, from the jail Goshala, for himself and for me. And the first day I said, no. He said, yes, every day you should come and teach me Bhagavad Gita, drink this milk and go to sleep. So this was my daily routine there, and I was protected from many other things which are normally very corrupt practices and a dreaded life in prison, just because of this and the Japmala. So Harinam, that day, the first day I realized how Harinam can protect one in difficult situation. So all my efforts, although they were not sincere, although they were not pure, of chanting the Harinam for at least 10 years, I immediately understood that Harinam can protect one. So I would like to end here. Thank you very much to all of you. If anyone has any questions, you can unmute your mic and then ask a question. Why something wrong happened to me? Why something wrong happened to me? I don't trust in Krishna. I don't trust in Harinam because I am doing Harinam so many times, this, that, and like that. So I think God doesn't exist because He didn't help me. He has put me in such a troublesome situation. So this kind of effect also can happen, and this person may lose his devotion and he can become an atheist or he can become a non-believer also. It's not necessary that it will increase your faith. If you don't have the proper understanding and if you don't have a proper guidance, the second path also can happen. You can lose your faith, you can stop your devotional life, you will stop believing in Krishna, you will start criticizing Krishna. What is this? What kind of God is this? Many people, they have this view, even they are not devotees. Why they don't become devotees is, they say, if God is there, why this is happening to me? I am a good person, I am a gentleman, I didn't do anything wrong, I didn't trouble anyone. Why I am facing so many troubles? So, yes, of course, when one becomes devotee, Krishna will test you. Krishna will test your sincerity or honesty. He will put you in such situations where you have to decide, and according to what you decide, Krishna understands how sincere you are, how honest you are, how determined you are. So, of course, one has to somehow pursue. And if you don't understand, if you are confused anytime, that's the time when you have to take guidance from people who already are realized in some things about devotional life. That is where the consulting or Shiksha Guru is required. So you have to choose a Shiksha Guru. Like Prabhupada said, respect everyone. You respect everyone means any damn person, even a demon. We respect everyone. We respect animals, we respect trees, we respect all living entities, because finally it is a soul. So we respect everyone. We associate with only selected people. Even amongst devotees, you have to choose association, good association. And instructions is from a few people. Association is okay. Instructions from few people. And then shiksha. Instructions is shiksha, but then counseling, guidance. When you are confused, when you have some doubts, guidance only from selected few. Where you can open up your heart. You can reveal your heart without hiding anything. Complete truth. Where you trust the person that he will not make a news item of that all over the world. Oh, like this. He told me like this. This is the truth about this Prabhuji Mataji. Actually, I know it. He told me personally. So you have to reveal where the two things should be compatible there. You should feel completely free to reveal the truth without hiding anything. Whatever it is, it may be lowest kind of degradation, it can be lowest kind of mistake, but you should be able to open your heart to such a person. That is consulting. Instructions is different. Consulting is different. Instruction is just instructions. Consulting is only few, 2, 3, 4, not more than that. Don't make a khichdi of consultants. Instructions can be 200 people, 2000 people. So, and that person should be so reliable, he should be so good friend of you, he should be such a caretaker of you, real caretaker of you, that he will keep it to himself. And he will really try to help you out of that problem, come out of the problem. For that, he has to keep it to himself. So that is important. So such a person, if you find, then you can have a relationship with him of Shiksha Guru. Shiksha is instruction. Basically, this is something more than instructions. This is confidential. You can say confidential instructions. So instruction, Shiksha Guru is general instructions, and confidential instructions should be only a few. And only a few means less than 5. 2, 3, 4 like this. Wherever you can find such a person. He should be highly placed in spiritual level. He should be such a person that you are so close to him, you can reveal all your heart openly to him. Anything it is, doesn't matter. And you are sure that he is not going to make a news item about it. Breaking news. So this is like this. So that's why guidance is required. Otherwise, you will divert, you will deviate. Many things can happen. So of Krishna will test, and initially Krishna will test you simple ways, then he will put some difficult test. Naturally, all this is going to happen. If this is not going to happen this birth, next birth, as you progress, according to your progress, there will be tests, level of tests. Like you cannot give a question paper of engineering to a 5-year-old kid. 5-year-old kid, you just have to ask him, oh, write cat. You show him a picture of cat, and then he writes C-A-T, cat. That is his level. Similarly, a little bigger, then there will be a question paper with 2 + 2 is equal to. Then he will write, okay, 2 + 2 = 4. Similarly, engineering student will have a question paper related to some engineering. You have to build a bridge. The length of it is that. The length of the span is this. The iron, the tensile strength of the iron is this. And how much width of the iron bar you have to use. And considering the load of 25 ton is going over the bridge, and it will go regularly and so that it should be strong enough for the next 25 years. What? How can a 5-year-old kid solve this? So Krishna is not going to give you a wrong question paper. Krishna will give you a correct question paper according to your level. So don't think that Krishna is going to give you a wrong question paper. Krishna will always give you a question paper which you can solve, basically. If not yourself, maybe with some help here and there. So in such cases, that's why you need all these things. And it is very important. If we don't understand, you just have to consult. So I hope your question is answered and the point is clear.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Very good.